When it comes to films, nothing's as green as Green Lantern, but we here at evacstation are a little blue. Blue because it's 2019 and we're still light on people going to patreon.com/evacstation. For less than the cost of reviving Ryan Reynolds' career from the Green Lantern, you can support our show and help give our podcasting career a fighting chance. Don't let the big corporate podcast tell you who to support. Help the little guy by going to patreon.com/evacstation and enjoy the show.
In brightest day, in blackest night, no evil shall escape my sight. Let those who worship evil's might beware my power, Green Lantern's light.
Whoa. My former partner on this podcast died uncovering the truth. I'm a corrupt podcast host. Luckily, I replaced him with Kyle Ryaner.
What do you mean replaced him? Wait, what?
And I'm your host, Aaron Scott. Welcome to the After Credits Cast.
Yes.
Don't worry, newbie. You'll be fine. And if you're new to this show, make sure you go to all of our various platforms for your choice of where to listen to this to. You can go to TuneIn, Podcast Addict, Google Play, Stitcher, iTunes, Peepa, YouTube, or Patreon itself. Where you could support us directly, and we'd appreciate that. Throw a little green our way, if you know what I mean. Speaking of green, Ryan, instead of what you're watching today, what's your favorite Green Lantern?
Now, I know you told me to think about this, and like of the couple of Green Lanterns that I know, because I don't really know the comic. Instead, what I'm going to answer is what would be the best / most terrible Lantern for us to ever see.
Okay.
And I'm going to go with the fact that this person is the most willful and disciplined human being on the planet in DC.
Okay.
And B, wow, I can't even fucking list letters. And B, his entire skill set is around causing great fear. I posit to you, Batman with the Yellow Lantern ring.
That actually is a thing that happens in the comics at one point.
I thought that was the case. Yeah, I was pretty sure it was like maybe in like a What If comic or something like that. Or does he get deputized by the Yellow Lantern Corps?
I don't remember if it's a What If or not. I know that in Arkham City or Arkham Knight or Arkham Origins, one of them, he has an alternate costume that is the Sinestro Corps costume. And I know it's from a comic. I just don't recall if it's a What If like B story kind of thing, or if it's like an actual like, oh hey, Batman, become a Sinestro Corps and help me fight this thing. It's like, okay, that sounds cool. I don't know what happened. I don't remember. But, no. Either Batman or, personally my favorite here, is when in Blackest Night, Scarecrow gets the Yellow Lantern ring. That was pretty sick.
God. Yeah, that's gross. That's pretty spooky.
Can you imagine Cillian Murphy with the Yellow Lantern ring from, that'd be fucking baller.
Yeah, that scrawny little guy. All he had was like a fucking little gas thing, like in his sleeve. And yeah, he was so goddamn terrifying. There were bats crawling out of his mouth. What the fuck?
Did you ever see the movie? Did you ever see the movie Red Eye? He was a villain in that one too, and he's pretty good. If you haven't checked it out, check out Red Eye, because Cillian Murphy, he's a pretty weird psychopath in that too.
Okay, I'm gonna have to check it out. I've heard of it, but I haven't gotten the chance to see it, so I will definitely have to check that out.
And I want to say the lead female is Jodie Foster. I think it is. It's been a while. Nice. I don't remember. So, to answer the question myself here real quick, I grew up on the Justice League cartoon show. So there's only one answer for this one. That is John motherfucking Stewart for me.
All right.
Yeah, I loved his back and forth with Flash. The two of them are like fucking like comedy duo of the year for me. They were so great. Very short question. Jumping right into the movie today. Welcome back to the Crisis on Infinite Films. I look at the DC films, live action and animated, and our next of many Infinite films, we go to animated with Green Lantern First Flight. Sorry about that. Directed by Lauren Montgomery and written by Alan Burnett. No box office numbers, because this was an animation straight to DVD and streaming. The film features the voice work of Michael Madsen, John Larroquette, okay. Trisha Helfer, Victor Garber, and fresh from over 10 seasons of Law & Order SVU, Christopher Maloney.
Yes, sir. Stabler up in this bitch. No wonder he was a space cop. It was perfect.
He was pretty good. No awards to speak of, but Ryan, I believe you have a fun fact or two for me.
I do have a couple fun facts here in my pocket. The costume that Sinestro uses in the final battle is actually the same one he adapted in the comics around the time of the Sinestro Corps War storyline. Now, the blue alien Hal Jordan saves from Kanjar Row bears a distinct similarity to Saint Walker, the Blue Lantern from the Blackest Night events in the Green Lantern comics. I love that they're always like sprinkling in these little tidbits just for the comic book fans. They'll be like, oh, that's the guy.
I love how the animations.
Let's see what else here.
I love how the animations do that too. It's really good.
Yeah, no, I love that absolutely, 100%. Now, Carol Ferris is voiced by Olivia Dabo, who previously voiced the same character's supervillain alter ego, Star Sapphire, on several episodes of the Justice League. Continuity? What the fuck?
I know, fucking great, right? It'd be like if you brought Mark Hamill in to do Joker in one of your movies, which I know they do, but we'll get to that some other time. Yeah, so that's pretty quick. Ryan, what are some initial thoughts of this movie?
I thought that this was a very good origin story. Holy shit, we can actually do one of those for Green Lantern. No, I thought the animation and the storyline was amazing, well done. I really, really liked watching it. I loved the space cop feel that they established right off the bat. And I thought it was a really good introduction into Hal Jordan as well as the Lantern Corps as a whole and the cosmic setting as a whole.
Mm-hmm. I'll add to it. So like in the last episode, I did say that I think the first film of a Green Lantern introduction should be like more on Earth, where you learn about the character and the reign itself before you learn about everything else. So to me, this is not the direction I would have taken an origin film. To me, it would be a second film, in my opinion. But what we have here is still really good. It's very consistent, and it works, unlike the other film. So I'll take what I can get here, because, it's, like I said, this works very well, despite my different direction I'd take it.
That's fair. It's fair.
Yeah. So with that, Ryan, I have a brief synopsis for you, and I mean brief because this movie is fucking short.
It is, but it like what killed me is that I loved watching it, but I never felt like it was over too soon.
Yeah,
like I thought it was very well paced, and it sucked you in, and then deposited you back right where you were, and just like, hey, that was a hell of a ride. Awesome.
Yep. I think that it takes for those who are video gamers, it takes the Portal approach to the filmmaking, where less is more, and if you can get what you want told in a short amount of time, that's better than overstaying your welcome. And I think this movie does a great job with that. With that, let me begin. The film begins with the Green Lantern origin. If you saw our other film this week, you know the basics. And Hal is once again called up to Green World to talk to aliens about the job he's been conscripted to do. He's taken under the wing by a red alien named Sinestro, who is totally not the bad guy. He and Hal chase down a space squid, and Sinestro goes all bad cop on him. Again, totes a good guy. No worries, bro.
I don't know what you're worried about, honest.
They get a lead to find another weird alien with a magic stick on some space station looking shit. Sinestro finds the alien with the stick, and it turns out they had a deal. Oh no, he's a bad guy. I had no idea.
Shock. Gasp.
Who would have guessed the guy Sinestro would be the bad guy? Sinestro then frames Hal for the death of the alien, and the little old fucks take away Hal's power ring for his crime of killing a dangerous criminal in self-defense.
Yep.
What did Hal do wrong again?
He was rash and impertinent. Because of him, we don't know where the yellow weapon is.
I love it. That's great. Hal suspects something is wrong and asks Kilowog and a girl whose name I forgot to help investigate. They catch Sinestro in the morgue with the magic stick and the corpse. Sinestro wants to make a powerful weapon to usurp the old little fucks. The girl betrays Hal and joins Sinestro. They offer Hal a spot on their dream team, but he says no, and they kill him, or they try to kill him instead. That's a reasonable reaction. I'd probably do that.
I don't take no very well, so I can relate.
Sinestro then gets the yellow element weapon, forming the Sinestro Corps. He attacks Green World with a yellow laser. Green Lanterns are killed and Rings are depowered. It looks bad, but Hal finds the depowered Green Lantern power source. He gives it a bro fist, and the power of the bro takes over Hal, turning him all green. He fights Sinestro. He fights Sinestro and his yellow laser, saving the day. Hal then departs for Earth because he isn't called into work for a few days. End of the movie.
Very true. This is pretty good.
So, I want to have one quick gripe before we get into the fun bits.
Gripe.
It's a little one. At the very end, when he does the whole joke about, I have to get back home, I have my other boss I gotta get to. I wouldn't have put that in necessarily. I felt like that was a bit much. I would have stopped it probably right after he'd done the oath and it just fades to green, then goes to credits. I would have done that and just cut it there.
That's fair.
I feel like the joke was unnecessary, but that's just me.
Do you feel like this version of Hal Jordan was also a little too wisecracky, a little too Kyle Rayner-esque?
Maybe a little bit, but I think they held it back a lot more. I think they were he's definitely playing the new kid on the block kind of thing, where he's just there learning how to do things. So I feel like his jokes were more like Chandler Bane, like a defense mechanism when he has no idea what else to say or do. So he's just kind of like making his wisecracks to kind of keep his head in the game. So I could kind of excuse it here.
I feel like I really want to see like the actual Hal Jordan, because I like the Green Lantern with a little bit of humor to him, and everything that I've heard thus far seems that like canon Hal Jordan is actually just like typical Boy Scout, really boring to watch superhero, which I would hope is not the case, but I could understand if it was.
Well, I mean, if you look at Jon Stewart from the cartoon show, the Justice League cartoon show, he had moments of humor. He had moments where he could bounce around with somebody else. I think Hal Jordan is similar in a lot of ways. I think it's every other Green Lantern aside from those two who feel drastically different. Like Kyle Rayner's definitely funnier. Guy Gardner's definitely more like a tough guy, and Alan Scott is, I think, recently outed as a gay man. So,
oh, nice.
Yeah, I think they actually had a wedding for him in one of the more recent years of Green Lantern comics. I don't remember for sure, but yeah, I remember that. I remember that being a thing. But yeah, no. So I definitely would like to see a more true to form Hal Jordan, because I feel like both Hal Jordans we got were attempts to make the Tony Stark model work for Green Lantern, and I think that's got the same misdirection as trying to make everyone like Batman. Because in the next few movies we're going to get to, it feels like they're trying to make the other DC heroes like Batman. Dark, gritty, realistic, and it doesn't always work. And in this case here, they're trying to make all these heroes like Tony Stark, so to speak. Funny, witty, self-assured, maybe a little arrogant, but it's like, if you make every hero like that one or the other, where's the middle ground? Where's the one that's a little more fearful? Where's the one that's needs to learn about responsibility? You get Spider-Man, I guess, for that one. But like, you know what I mean? Like, there's a whole spectrum of characters out there, and it feels like the comic book movies like to default to the two big ones.
Okay, I can see that.
I get some water. My throat's getting a little dry. Okay, so first question I got for you, Ryan. Sinestro, does he make a better antagonist than Parallax?
100%. How is that even a question? No, I mean, he doesn't look like shit in CGI, which is fantastic. he's actually a believable villain. Like he himself is well established in the storyline. Like the storyline becomes like this quintessential. It's almost like Training Day, only cartoon and in space with magic rings.
So nothing like Training Day.
Shut up! You know what I mean? I mean the grizzled old like corrupt cop takes the new kid on the block around and like shows him how the fuck they do things, and the young kid's like, "No, you're out of control. I have to take you down." It's exactly like Training Day. It just has a bunch of coats of paint on it.
No, I had to give you shit.
But no, I mean, Sinestro's descent into villainy makes a lot of sense over the course of the movie, over just who he is as a character. It's well established, it's well developed, and when he gets to the end and he's fucking tearing people down left and right with his big yellow laser, it feels earned. It feels deserved when he gets there.
Mm-hmm. I would say it definitely solves the problem I had with the previous film we watched, which is at the end of the film,
it looks like shit.
Well, a lot of problems, but it solves the one problem I had with Sinestro, where it's like he's there and then he goes evil at the end, but there's no really reason as to why. Here, that's literally the reason of this film. Is like you see from beginning to end where Sinestro kind of starts, what his philosophy is. I like they even foreshadow it when he mentions something about you gotta strike fear in the hearts of the enemies to Hal, like in their first like outing, and I'm like, that's good. That's a good build up for what's going to be a callback later. That's fucking great. They should.
Yep, that's how you do story, ladies and gentlemen.
And no, I actually had an appreciation for Sinestro's character because they built him up so well in this film, and I think it goes back to what I was saying earlier. You need to do a film either all on Earth or make it all in space, because then you get the full effect of the characters in those two worlds. Trying to do a little bit of both and not really getting enough of either makes for a very half-assed, lackluster film.
It really does. Oh my god, I can't believe I forgot this gripe. Okay, I'm going to throw in a gripe for yesterday's film real fast. But
it never ends. It just never ends.
There's no end to gripes for fucking 2011 Green Lantern. But when he flies back to Oa,
okay,
after he's gone back to Earth and he knows Parallax is coming back, he flies all the fucking way to Oa to be like, "Hey guys, no, you have to help me save Earth." And he makes a plea and like, "Please come back and help me save the shit." And then they say no, and then he asks permission to go back home and fight it by his goddamn self. What?
Yeah.
As if they could stop. Wait, what? Like the fact that he flew all that way and wasn't going to get any help. Okay, that's par for the course. But why would he then ask to go back? Well, as if he wasn't going to go back and do this.
Well,
shit.
Ryan, if you remember from the classic Nintendo video game that everybody loved called Metroid Other M, it's important for your protagonist to always ask for permission to do life-saving things to their superiors, even if they have no direct authority over them. If I need to ask Adam Malkovich, "Hey man, can I use this heat-resistant suit in the lava room?" and he says no, by God, I'm going to listen to that man, because he knows what he's talking about.
Blew my fucking mind. I'm sorry. Let's get back to the good story, but I cannot fucking believe, because I went on a 5-minute rant as soon as I saw that when I watched it. I'm sorry. So, first flight, yes.
Okay, so I like how they split up the origin of Hal Jordan. They made it like the first 5 minutes, like the intro bit. Like, we didn't need to see the whole thing again. I appreciate that consideration. And I think for superheroes, especially going forward, like Spider-Man, Batman, Iron Man, all the ones we've seen already, and they've been done well already. Condense that shit down to 5 minutes or less. Condense it into the opening credits, whatever you have to do. I don't need to see Batman's parents get shot again. I don't need to see Uncle Ben get shot again. And I like Hal Jordan fine. I don't need to see him finding the dead alien and getting in the ring again. I know how it goes. We all know how it goes if we've seen this. Let's just move on.
Yeah.
Let's get to the story.
Also, in Hal Jordan's case, this makes double the amount of sense because Hal Jordan's origin story is not a hugely convoluted thing. You know, like Peter Parker gets bitten by the spider, and then he has to go through this whole thing about with great power comes great responsibility, and then Uncle Ben has to die for him to really become Spider-Man, you know? Like, Bruce Wayne has to see his parents killed as a child, then he has to go through this long-ass phase of being super depressive, then he has to run away and become a ninja, and then he comes back to being Batman. Hal Jordan is just, a ring absconds him, takes him to an alien, the alien says, hey, you're gonna wear this ring now, boop, dead, he's done, that's it, he's now the Green Lantern, that's it. So they gave it exactly enough, as much time as it needed to be because his origin story is not that deep.
It's very simple. Speaking of origin stories, how do you feel about the changes they made for the Yellow Lantern origin versus the live-action film?
I mean, it's more. It doesn't spit in the face of Green Lantern lore, so it's automatically much better.
Okay. I have a gripe here a little bit. It's not about how they handle the lore, but it's about the writing a little bit. They call it the green element and the yellow element. But could we have maybe come up with like an actual name for these elements? Just because it just feels so like, oh, we didn't really have a name, so we're just gonna slap on a color and deal with it later, and they never got back to it. Like, you could have called it like Uridium or for the green one like Kryptonium or something. I don't know. You could have come up with good names for these things to really kind of sell that lore a little bit more.
Well, so yeah, that is a valid complaint. I do understand that. I think the reason that they stuck with the colors is because isn't it like they saved the names for the giant cosmic beings that actually emit this stuff?
Ooh.
Like, as Parallax is the yellow cosmic being of fear, and like yellow element comes from him, or I don't know the name of the green like
I'm looking it up
being
right now.
of will, but like the fact that there are cosmic entities that incorporate the will of like every sentient being in the planet, or the fear or the anger of every sentient being in the planet, the element, quote unquote, that's just like a physical manifestation of their presence. I don't think it needed its own like name. Like, it definitely could have had a name to kind of get them a little further into the lore, but to keep it as something like the yellow element also keeps an aura of mystery about it. It's not fully understood exactly what these elements are, which leaves room for more lore to be discovered. So I think that's the choice they made there.
Okay, so let me then rephrase that. What if they had called the yellow element Parallaxium, and they had called the green element Ionium? Named after the gods, but not the gods themselves.
I think it still goes back to the point where they want to leave a little bit of it unknown, where it's like, we know this stuff exists, but we don't really know what the fuck it is, actually. We just know that it allows us to do this stuff. And that leaves room for more stories to actually go into, where does the yellow element come from? What the fuck is it? And things like that.
That's fair. It's a minor gripe, and I see your point about the era mystery. I can appreciate it a little bit.
But I do see your point of kind of giving them a little more of a grounded lore as opposed to just kind of slapping a name on it. I definitely see your point as well.
Okay. So this goes back to what I've been saying earlier in regards to how the origin film should handle things. So here, I want your opinion now, because I don't think I've actually asked this yet in these two episodes. Should Green Lantern's first outing in his origin movie focus on his adventures in space, or should he focus on learning his powers on Earth?
I think that I like the origin staying in space better. And the reason why is because so much of the power set with like that comes from the Green Lantern, like apparently fucking lantern light can do anything, even bring people back from the dead. Never mind that. But the fact
that was so
that
cool.
there's that was cool, but that was a little too far for me. But we'll get to that later. The idea that there's such an established core of people and aliens and different races that have worn these rings, that have been warriors and know what the fuck they're doing, and like establishing that really established kind of setting, while also having him learn his powers in that setting, I thought was a better way to go about it. I definitely agreed that it either needs to be one or the other, but I like the fact that he was able to learn within the core so that he could get a better grip on his powers. He had more interesting people to interact with and to act off of, and we got a more diverse story because we also got to really establish the core's presence in the cosmic setting, as opposed to just this one planet with these bunch of aliens on it.
Yeah. I would make a counterpoint. I don't disagree. I think you make some valid points there. I would say that if we're gonna do animation, you could go either way and it'd be fine. I think that you could pull out space a lot easier. But I think if you're gonna do a live action Green Lantern again, I would definitely grant it to Earth first, only because of the budget. I think that would be, if you did it in space the first outing and it didn't do well, if you keep your budget low by keeping it on Earth, you at least kind of balance out a little bit.
Definitely.
But for animation, you can get away with a lot more. So I think that you are absolutely right when it comes to animation. I could definitely make a case for Earth only, or at least Earth primary in a live action film, though.
Yeah, no. Live action film, it's a very good idea to keep it Earth-based. And there's a couple of, like, small things that there's a couple of small concessions that you can make to the Lantern's powers to make it feasible for him to learn how to use his powers on Earth. Like, say, for instance, there is, like, a simulacrum of Abin Sur's consciousness in his lantern, and he learns the basics of how to use his ring from that. Maybe. Like it gives him a valid excuse to, like, be able to somewhat figure out the powers and to, like, be able to play with it on Earth without having to come to the lantern, without having to learn from the lanterns, because he would technically be learning from a lantern. Mm-hmm. And that's a small conceit that you can change to the story just to have him stay on Earth. For budgetary reasons and for story reasons. It'd be pretty cool.
Yep. Okay, so this question's kind of dumb. I don't know why I put it in here. But, Ryan, which film looked better? Oh, it's totally the one that's consistent, isn't it?
I mean, I personally really like the cloud of dragon heads throwing yellow bursts of energy at random black ladies who happen to fall on the ground. That's cinema.
Let's divert all our attention to the one lady who fell on the ground, not the whole city that looks scrumptious.
Yeah, like literally the fucking city-eating abomination focuses on this one person. Like, why? What's the point? Oh my god.
Speaking of
the buddy cop was good. The buddy cop was much better. If you can't tell, I'm being super facetious there.
Yep. Ryan, do you want to see more of this Hal Jordan? Or do you want to see
I would like to.
Okay. I was gonna say, or do you want to see other Green Lanterns jump in on this one? Because I think I like Hal Jordan enough from this. I would be down to see him some more. Get some more. Yeah. Get some more Hal.
I would definitely be down to see some more Hal Jordan. I think, like, entering in new Green Lanterns makes more sense as Hal, like, rises in prominence, like, throughout the core, because, like, so it's my understanding that over the course of the story, Hal Jordan becomes, like, the greatest Green Lantern to ever fucking live. So they have him patrolling, like, more sectors, or, like actually have him leading the Lantern Corps at some point, which means that Earth's sector actually needs a Green Lantern to hold it down while Hal is off saving, like, the fucking universe. And so they call up other guys like Kyle Rayner, like Guy Gardner, like John Stewart. That's my understanding of it.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't really introduce more Green, like, since there's supposed to be one Green Lantern for each sector of the universe, you can't like excuse multiple human Green Lanterns under that conceit unless stuff starts changing. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Well, they have so many lanterns too. I have to wonder, like, do they have any that double up in a sector for like, if it's like an especially violent one or something? I'd be very curious about that.
I would be too. I mean, the movie stated that there was one Green Lantern for each of the 3,600 sectors in the universe. So I took that to mean there are 3,600 Green Lanterns, and each of them has a big ass piece of space that they patrol.
You stay up the west side.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't you ever try this again in my precinct. I mean, in my sector.
So that's all I have for my questions, but I guess I'll open the floor to you. Is there anything that I didn't bring up that you wanted to bring up?
No. I mean, I personally really enjoyed it. Oh, actually, no, I will ask you a question.
Okay.
What did you think about the sudden heel turn for the female Green Lantern, who revealed that she was part of Sinestro's group all along?
I didn't hate it. I think that it kind of makes sense that he wouldn't be operating alone. And I feel like, it would also make sense that he would need a partner to accomplish a lot of what he's doing. I feel like they didn't give her enough character, though, to really make us suspect it would be her, or to make us not suspect it would be her. So I feel there need to be maybe, like, 5 more minutes of the movie devoted to just, hey, who's this girl? What's her story? What's her deal? Tell me more about her. Because I don't even remember her name. That's how bad a character memory I have for her. So a little bit more time devoted to her might have made that twist a bit more believable. Because we gave a lot more screen time to Kilowog, but I know Kilowog's not going to be the bad guy because he's a recurring partner for Green Lantern for many, many issues of everything. So I knew it was not going to be him portraying anybody.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think the one thing that I really liked about it is that her and Sinestro were literally a pair of good cop, bad cop. They were playing good cop, bad cop on on Hal Jordan, which I personally got a chuckle at, and it made sense. Like it made the twist feel a little more impactful. It cut a little deeper because she was actually the one that was like kind of on his side the whole time, and you realize that she was just playing the good cop to get closer to him, and it really fit the cop motif that the whole thing was going for. So I liked it.
Yep, they did a really good job at aping the cop movies. I like it.
Yeah.
Are you guys trying to do bad cop and good cop? Because I feel like it's more like bad cop and worse cop. Yeah, no. So yeah, I think that sums up our thoughts on the movie pretty good. Oh yeah, you mentioned the whole bringing the dead guy back to life. For like that 5 minutes there.
What?
I didn't know lanterns could do that, but I gotta say that's a bitchin' ass power, and I want to do it. That'd be cool.
That stretched my belief a little far. It's like, oh, I'm just using the light to reconnect some synapses in your brain so I can access some of your memory. I'm like, hold on now. So as far as I'm aware, the Green Lantern light can make constructs from light that are as strong as your will. Are you meaning to tell me that you can accurately imagine and visualize the individual synapses in this alien's brain to reconnect them using your constructs so that he will tell you what you want to know, so you can bring him back from the dead for a brief time? Is that what you're telling me that the lights can do? For real?
I will say, it does feel like a bit of a stretch. However, this power would fit right at home with the Yellow Lantern Corps, because here's my thinking. Yellow Lantern Corps feeds on fear. It's a very mental-focused kind of power. And so it being able to toy the brain in that specific kind of way, I could have excused this completely had he been using a Yellow Lantern ring. For sure. But since he was trying
I'm going to scare him so bad that he's going to come back from the dead to tell me what I want to know.
Something like that, sure. Yeah, I could go with that. Okay. So, I know we have to rank the movies and do who were a better thing, but we still have a good amount of time left, so I'm going to do a quick round of trivia. Cue the music! Okay, so Ryan, I've got 4 questions again, regarding DC trivia, specifically Green Lantern. Are you ready for this shit?
No, but let's do it.
All right. Question number 1. Which Green Lantern's run was the genesis for the trope women in refrigerators?
Women? What? Is this a trope? Wait, what?
It is a comic book trope, yes.
Can you explain the trope to me without giving the answer away?
You know what, Ryan? I owe you that much, so hang on. Women in...
Because I've never heard this before.
Women in refrigerators trope. Here we go. According to Wikipedia... here we go. Women in refrigerators... oh, that's a website. Let's go to TV tropes. That'll give me what I want here. Women in refrigerators refers to 3 different types of TV tropes. Disposable woman, a female character who is present in the story just so she can be attacked. Her attack spurns the story forward, and that's all. It can also mean stuffed into a fridge. A character is killed off in a particularly gruesome manner and left to be found just to offend or insult somebody or to cause someone serious anguish. And then there's a website called Women in Refrigerators, which is all about the documenting of disproportionate tendencies of female characters in comics to be brutalized. So we're focusing on the first two.
Okay.
We're focusing on the first two.
Okay. I get that. But I don't know the Green Lanterns.
I got a buddy out there named Sean McGee who was on this podcast not too long ago, a couple years ago back. Big Green Lantern fan, specifically of this Green Lantern, and he's just chewing at the bit to answer this question, I bet. I mean, yeah.
I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna just throw it. I'm gonna throw a dart in. Throw a dart in the dark. A dart in the dark. Sure, I just made that up.
Yep.
Let's go with Guy Gardner. I'm gonna guess Guy Gardner.
No, it's Kyle Rayner.
Oh, wait, no, isn't he supposed to be the fun one?
He is the fun one, but then there was an incident where his girlfriend was stuffed in a refrigerator and he went all kill crazy. That's like the one dark moment in his history.
Oh, shit.
Yep. Question number 2, and I do not think you're going to get this one right, but I'd laugh if you did. What is the name of Hal Jordan's temporary racial stereotype of a sidekick?
I don't know. It's fucking, no clue. I have absolutely no clue.
The answer, Ryan, his real name is Tom Kalmaku, a.k.a. Pieface.
Pieface?
Yep.
Pieface?
That's lore I don't think anyone needed to know, but I had to throw it in there anyway.
You're gonna have to send me a picture. I gotta see this dude. I mean, you can ask me the next one, but I gotta hear that.
I'll look it up here in a minute. I have a multiple choice here for you, Ryan. This should be a little easier for you.
Oh, thank God.
Which of the following is not a crossover with Green Lantern? Number 1, Silver Surfer, GL/Silver Surfer, Unholy Alliances. Number 2, Duck Dodgers, the Green Lantern. Number 3, Predator, Warrior's Oath. Number 4, Star Trek, The Spectrum War. Or number 5, Alien, Green Lantern vs. Aliens.
Okay. My first thought is either Aliens or Predator. And it's only one of these that didn't happen?
It's only one of these that didn't happen.
Wow. Okay, which means they've done a crossover with either Aliens or Predator. That's fucking hilarious to me. Aliens have green blood. That's cool.
They do have green blood. It's very acidic.
I'm gonna guess Predator. I'm gonna guess the Predator.
I am very proud. I thought Warrior's Oath would throw you off, but that's it. That's it right there. Now, I knew about Duck Dodgers. I think I've seen that episode, actually. I didn't know about Star Trek, of all things. Like, I actually didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, me neither, but I can absolutely see it happening.
Mm-hmm. And then Silver Surfer, I know they've done a lot of Marvel DC crossovers back in the day, so that doesn't surprise me at all. So, last one, Ryan. I don't know if you're going to get this one, but it's very fun facts, so I will try it anyway. Ryan, what is the Emerald Twilight storyline, and what is the name of the group of fans established in response to said storyline?
Fuck. Okay, I'm pretty sure this is where Hal goes evil.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember the specifics of it. I know that he gets possessed by Parallax, and I'm pretty sure he's rocking both a green and a yellow ring at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's all I know about this shit. I don't know what the fuck the group of fans are. I have no idea.
So I'll do a little quick history. So Emerald Twilight takes place after the death of Superman, and what happens is Coast City gets destroyed, bombed, and some shit, and it causes Hal Jordan to basically lose his shit. He tries to rebuild the city with his ring, but the Guardians tell him no, you can't use it for personal gain or personal reasons. So he goes up to Oa and kills most of the core and takes all the rings. Like, he basically takes all the rings and dons the persona Parallax.
Oh shit! So he's not even possessed by Parallax. He just calls himself that.
They retcon it later to say he was possessed, but at the time he was not possessed by Parallax. He was just going fucking crazy.
Oh.
Yeah, the retcon. Okay,
so Hal Jordan's running around with like 10 lantern rings on his fucking fist?
Yeah.
Oh, I want to see that. Hold on. I'm sorry. I gotta see that.
And I believe Kyle Rayner actually comes in as Green Lantern after this event. No, so Parallax is retconned as a giant evil space bug later because this particular storyline was caused so much outrage with the fans that a group of fans formed to constantly be on DC to complain about this. They were called Heat, and this is before the internet was a big thing. So the fact that this group existed and got actual movement on DC, that's scary. But they're called Heat, which stands for Hal's Emerald Attack Team.
Why Hal's Emerald Attack Team?
Because they didn't like how the Emerald Twilight went, so they have to attack DC and be like, you guys are fucking stupid. Change this to be better.
Oh my god. Although, to be fair, I really like his suit with the shoulder pads.
It looks pretty cool.
It looks pretty boss.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, those who have never heard of Green Lantern history, you just learned a thing today. I hope that enlightened you, because I thought that was very interesting myself.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Damn, okay.
So with that, let's do a quick shout out to the mailbag. Again, Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr. You can find us all in those places. Follow us. Also, I always forget to mention this, but subscribe to us on your platform of choice. iTunes, Google Play, whatever you listen to. If you subscribe to us and rate our podcast on those platforms, you actually make it more likely that other people who are not associated with us already to be able to find us. More reviews means we move up in the charts. More movement in the charts means, hey, more viewers. And we could use all the viewers we can, because we love talking about this stuff, and it's more fun when more people are in the conversation. And if you have any questions, comments, or want to talk to us about why you joined Hal's Emerald Attack Team and think that it's important that we should all be part of the attack team, email us. Ryan, what is that email?
That is galacticspacecops@gmail.com. Excuse me. That is evacstation@gmail.com.
evacstation@gmail.com. I like that. And, I would not join Heat. I don't think I have enough investment in Green Lantern to do that. Now, if we're gonna start Hal's Warner Brothers Attack Team, which isn't actually an acronym, I'd be down for that. Let's do it. It'd be
HWBT. Whoop it.
Speaking of whoop it, let's move on to our final segment, which is Who Wore It Better? It's a new segment for the DC season only. We might revisit it down the road for other films. I don't know, but we're gonna compare Green Lantern 2011 to Green Lantern First Flight. Ryan, start us off here. How do you want to handle this? Where do you want to go with this?
Well, I'm going to say in terms of an origin story, in terms of a fucking coherent storyline, period, a believable villain, and, again, a coherent storyline, I'm going to say that First Flight gets my votes, unsurprisingly, for lack of CGI masks. Fuck you, live-action film. That was so unnecessary.
I'm going to agree here quite a bit. There isn't any reason that I would go either way. I think the live-action movie missteps basically anywhere it can misstep. And it's sad to see that they can't get one thing right throughout the whole production. Whereas this film, First Flight, nails more or less everything without too much hassle. There's a few bits here and there where I'd be like, you could punch this up, you could cut that out, but nothing that kills the film in any capacity. It all is grounded, it works, every character feels like they're necessary, even the little weird squirrel dude, whatever his name is. Everything works in First Flight. It's not a perfect film. It's not the greatest film we're going to see. I guarantee you, in 2 weeks' time, we will see the greatest movie possibly in this whole season. I'm not going to spoil it, but I think it's my personal favorite of all of them. We'll get to it in a little bit.
Maybe we can review that like at the very, very end when it's all said and done. We can take a look at our favorite live action film and our favorite animated film.
I'd be down for that. Yeah. I will probably have to put that in the Shazam episode, and we'll move up the Aquaman episode a week, because I don't know how the order is going to go quite yet, since we're recording Aquaman a little earlier than planned.
Right.
But, yeah, no. I would say if you're going to watch a Green Lantern movie, make it First Flight. You can watch the 2011 movie if you really want to. I think it's a good lesson in what not to do, because No, Ryan.
Everything to do wrong in your movie.
Here's
CGI masks. Why? Who the fuck thought that was? I'm sorry. I'm gonna go into that rant again. Please continue.
But Ryan, so my logic is, you learn the best from failure. You learn so much more from mistakes, and I think that there's so much more you can learn from Green Lantern 2011 and what not to do, and how you could have done better versus First Flight. But First Flight is still the better film to watch, without question. So if you're an aspiring filmmaker, watch Green Lantern 2011. I think you could learn something from this. If you're not and you just want to see a good Green Lantern movie, just watch First Flight. That's all you need to see. That's all I recommend.
Yep. Do it.
Yep. So we're done with this one. So Ryan, next week, we are going to record a different movie, Under the Sea. For everybody else, we're going to be watching The Man of Steel and All-Star Superman. Are you excited, Ryan, to take on the boy in blue?
You know what? It's been a good long while since I've seen Man of Steel, and I actually remember liking it the first time. So it will be very interesting to take another look at it.
I will give my 2 cents real quick. I saw the movie first time in theaters, and I remember watching it the first time and thinking to myself, it's okay, but something's not quite hitting me the way it does with, like, the Avengers films. Like, what is not hitting me? So I watched it the second time. I think I saw it with someone else the second time. And then I sat on it and thought about it more. And it's the first movie I think I've ever seen where the more I thought about it and the more I kept going on discussing it, the more I realized why I didn't like it. It's one of those films that grew on me in the opposite way you'd expect. And there's certain bits of it work, and I cannot wait to talk about it next week. It's going to be a good time.
All right. Well, we will save that for next week. I can't wait to dive into it. It should be pretty damn good.
And then I guess a quick shout out to those who are listening. After this week, Superman and Man of Steel. To give you a heads up beyond that, we will be doing all the other DC movies in order. It will be going in the order of the movies' live-action versions. And then we'll be doing a counterpart animated film that same week. So, Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman, League, Shazam, And Aquaman will be either before or after Shazam, depending on, again, how the scheduling works. Because I don't know when Avengers is coming out yet. It's throwing my whole schedule out of whack. Fuck you, Marvel. Get your fucking schedule sorted out. That's all for this week. Ryan, anything else you need to part him with?
No. Again, you made it to the end of the week. So next week we're not going to be talking about a movie that's as bad as Green Lantern, but there's still some gripes to it. So stick around. It won't necessarily be eating your vegetables, but it'll be an interesting discussion, and I can't wait to see you guys there.
Yep. And we'll see you after the credits.
Bye.
Gotta hit the stop button. There we go.
50:23 and a few frames of change.
Yep, I think I was about there too. My Skype window was up a little bit, so I couldn't hit the stop button right away. Green Lantern First Flight. So I gotta admit, after this first session, I'm really digging